Hey guys, hello. Hey good people. I wanted to play this because this is Tasha K still at it, y'all. Still at it, but I'm gonna play it for you guys. She's still with her nonsense. I wanted to play it for you guys.
He trusted to put this out there.
It's like really, really garnering a lot of views. And I said, I kind of went back and forth with this. Someone sent it to me and I was listening and I was like, dang, this is like Wendy. And I was like, she got R. Kelly on the phone? What the? There was so many things going through my mind. And I'm like, I had just landed in Africa and I was just like, why is R. Kelly in jail talking about me? What the? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, so something told me, because normally I do not listen to other content creators, but when I heard his voice, I said, oh, she really got R. Kelly on the phone. Let me listen. So first off, I want to say congratulations on that. That was big.
Thank you.
For you to be gone 20 years and then now you coming back and then you get R. Kelly on the phone, that's a big deal. So my hat goes off to you, girl, and you went viral. So I appreciate that. And two, I wanted to talk to you because, of course there was some things in that video and I was just kind of like, I had my wine bottle and I had it like this and I was like, now listen, we are recording this. I want to tell you because we do have which is our private site, which is our website, TashaKLive.com. I don't know if you know that YouTube censors a lot of the R. Kelly content because of what his name brings. The pedophilia, the rape, things like that, anything dealing with children or sexual assault against children and stuff. So anytime you put his name, and I've had meetings with my channel managers behind the scenes, they don't like anything surrounding his name. Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, anyone that has faced charges involving children, they will just automatically censor it. So what I'm going to do is the interview is going to go out on my main channel, but we're just going to have to edit the video.
Okay.
So right now it's raw. You can say whatever you want to say, and then we'll just take it back into the studio, cut it, and then we'll disseminate it on our major channel so people can get it. Because I want everyone to hear this because it was a call at R. Kelly wanting me in jail.
No. Listen, I'm just a person. I'm a vessel that, he trusted to put this out there. I don't want anybody in jail. I don't want anybody in trouble. I just want everybody's voice to be heard fairly. And when you reached out to me, I was like, oh.
I had to. I said, let me go to the source because, obviously you can get him on a collect call. So I said, sis, he's refused to talk to me. Everybody in his family I have contact with, but he is upset with me. And he was upset with me before I got the information. So, and I was a little bit taken aback because I was like, does he not know like everything that he was charged with? It seems like he's just hyper focused on this one thing that he feels that he can get an appeal on, right? And I feel that this is what this is about, like this tiny bit of hope, thinking that if I can get the Justice Department, because the Justice Department opened up an investigation against me, right? Can charge those involved for violating my privacy and all these other things, I have a chance at getting a reversal on a trial, right? But this is what I wanted to talk to you about because I want to start from the beginning for those that did not hear the interview with him. If you could just kind of summarize, first of all, what led you to do the interview? 2, how did you go about getting in contact with him? And 3, what was the interview about for those that did not see it that are watching right now?
Okay, yeah. So the executive producer of my show, the Natasha Simona Sequence, I do a talk show on Instagram Monday through Friday, and the executive producer is Rick Party. Rick Party has been in radio for over 35 years, and so he's amassed, numerous relationships with different entertainers, as you can imagine. One of them being R. Kelly. And Robert Kelly trusted Rick to talk to him directly as someone who, they're both from Chicago. Rick right now currently has a show in Chicago. And just, from the brotherhood, both of them being from Chicago, Rick interviewed R. Kelly many times before, hosted different events. He knew that he can get his word out to him and that it will do what what R. Kelly intends for it to do, which is being heard without it being cut and doctored and, just made a mockery of. And like I said, Rick is the executive producer of my show. He gave it to me and he said, I want you to put this out there. I want you to be the person to break this story. So that's essentially how it happened. And from there, I listened to the whole conversation. It was a 45-minute conversation, broken up into 15-minute intervals. And within the 15-minute intervals, you're hearing, this is a call from the federal prison. It's...
Yeah.
So it's not... It definitely was not a straight phone call where you're talking to your guy on the phone and he's telling you all of what is happening behind bars. R. Kelly definitely... The man is behind bars. He's not hanging out in Cabo on vacation. So his main concern were these emails. And that's something that he talked about. The content of the conversation went from, he wanted to clear up the baby rumors. At the time when he called, that was something that was spinning around on the internet that Joycelyn Savage was pregnant.
And I tried to tell these people that girl did not have a baby. they were steadily believing the troll page that has been collecting donations, cash apps, and things like that.
Yeah, so he definitely was expressive on letting people know the baby is not his. He didn't go half on a baby. He wanted to clear up the they recently released an album. Somebody released an album. He wanted to clear that up, and he did talk about the emails, these leaked emails from the BOP officer that was then in turn shared with you.
Okay, and so that's essentially why we are here is the emails, and so congratulations on getting his word out there, saying that he did not have a baby. And I'm just tired. It's like anybody could start a social media page and say that they're this person, and they can get GoFundMes, they can get cash apps. And I'm like, Joycelyn has not seen him in order to have a baby. And I know that. He's her last choice. She's the only one hanging on for dear God. Now, are they still in contact? They are, but that is not her page. And she did not have a baby. So again, congratulations on getting that exclusive and clearing that up. And so let's talk about the BOP officer and the emails, because I haven't really addressed this at all. Partly because there was, look, you got notes. Wait a minute,
baby. Tasha K. Tasha meet Natasha.
Oh, my platform day. She said, I'm coming to get this. I've been gone 20 years. I'm back now. Let's do it. I told you. Let's do it. Let's hash it out like grown women. Tasha to Tasha.
Tasha to Tasha. I don't know. Maybe that's the title card. Tasha versus Tasha. I don't know.
Tasha to Tasha. Tasha versus Tasha. Let's do it. Okay. So let's talk about these. I'm going to let you ask me any question you want to ask me. I'm going to answer it truthfully. I haven't spoken about it only because there was a federal investigation involving that. My lawyers did have to do some work behind the scenes and stuff like that. But ultimately, I didn't break any laws, nor did I intend to break any laws, right? And so that's what we're going to clear up here. And then I'm going to come in and kind of give my thoughts on everything that was said. So the floor is yours. Go ahead. Ask me anything you want to ask me.
Okay. Since I know this is raw, this is not like live anywhere. Is my camera angle okay for you all over there?
My camera angle's off because I don't want to put it in front of the camera. We just set up really fast. So you look good.
Okay. I just want to make sure I just, in your editing and stuff.
You look good. You look good. This is the first interview that I've had on my platform where somebody's interviewing me. So this is going to be interesting. Let's go.
Oh, my God. Okay. Don't be nervous. Let's just act normal.
Let's go. Okay.
All right. So here we go. So I'm just curious I just want to start from the beginning of this. Why are you so vested in this R. Kelly case as a whole?
Man, good question. So in the beginning, I started off reporting on R. Kelly just like anybody else, right? And then I guess the angle in which I took, as far as like breaking down the psychology of why, you know, he as an artist would even, I guess, pursue young girls, or, you know, just sleep with young girls, or why this behavior is repetitive. I was molested by a grown man. I kind of gave it from that perspective. And then as I was talking about it, a lot of the victims, because I came from a victim perspective, when I did these stories, started to reach out to me and give me their stories. And a lot of them, 90% of them, were either the parents or the girls involved, or family members that were involved with him. And so it kind of just slowly built into what it's done now, with no intention, just me as a victim of sexual abuse within my family. Uncle touched me, you know, and at 5 years old. And I just started giving my perspective. And this is when my channel was early on. I was probably like, I want to say 60,000 followers in. And so slowly by slowly, I remember the first victim that ever came to me was it a young lady? No, it was actually the Savages. The Savages were the first to reach out because of my coverage on R. Kelly, and they liked the way that I told the story, per se. Like, I didn't hold back. I'm still like that. I'm very honest. I'm very blunt. I speak, you know, whatever on my mind. I'm very passionate. And so they was like, hey, she's going to be the one that we give a lot of these exclusives to. And so when they started making noise on the internet, and I remember Tim Savage coming on the internet with a bat, and he was like, I want R. Kelly, when you meet me out here, you going to give me my motherfucking dollar. That shit went viral. And then, you know, he ended up giving me a lot of video recordings and exclusive information. Joycelyn telling her teacher, her voice teacher, that R. Kelly had given her chlamydia. It's a lot of stuff. And this stuff came from Joycelyn's mouth. And so all of this started going viral. And then there was another woman that was in Alabama who had lost her house. Oh man, I remember this. And she lost her house in a fire in Atlanta. And FEMA had moved her to Alabama to a hotel until they found somewhere else for her and her kids to go. And then R. Kelly, who happens to have always been like a partner, I believe it's with the Marriott, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of those hotel chains, because he doesn't like to fly, so he travels by bus, right?
Okay.
And he had a show in Alabama, and he stayed at this hotel that this young lady was in. This video right now is sitting over like 5 million views. And she meets R. Kelly. Her boys actually meet R. Kelly. They were playing basketball with him. She had all the videos and everything. And then when he was done playing basketball, he came to sit with her on the bleachers and then asked her situation. And so she told him, I lost my house in a fire. Me and my kids have been living in this hotel for a few weeks now. And we're just trying to figure out how to get back on our feet, waiting on FEMA. And to make a long story short, he had propositioned her. And when he propositioned her, he said, I can give you $3,000. And then she was like, oh, yeah, how? He said, well, if you do something for me. Now, mind you, he had a whole bus load of women. She sent me the videos of the women. Joycelyn was on the bus, and so was a lot of the girls that are in the Surviving R. Kelly documentaries right now. And so she was just like, I thought it was kind of weird because, you know, he had them in like sweatsuits and they was looking down. Like, she had confirmed a lot of stuff that only Tim Savage had shared with me that I put out on the internet to confirm, using the hotel staff and what they saw and what she saw, and a lot of things that Tim Savage was saying that was now making sense, because no one was there. No one saw this. It's like, it's R. Kelly. Of course he's going to travel with a lot of women. But to make a long story short, she ends up getting in the car. He says, hey, will you give me head? It was right after he was playing basketball. She said she remembered he had stunk so bad. He had stunk so bad that she couldn't get past the smell. And he was like, you want me to pay you, right? And she was like, yeah. He said, well, Jen, just give me head. And so she ends up swallowing her pride because she's thinking he's going to give her $3,000 cash. And she gives him head. And when he's done, he comes all over, her face or whatever. And she asked for the money. He was like, well, my security going to give it to you. I got to get to a show. And then she was like, no, you need to give it to me now. He was like, I told you my security going to give it to you. So a fight ends up breaking out. She was just like, I'm gonna call the police. He was like, so what you gonna call the police to say? Like, that you gave out prostitution services? What are you gonna tell them? So she was upset. Needless to say, he didn't give her the money. His tour bus leaves. They're going to another city. She calls me with paperwork saying that he had given her chlamydia of the mouth.
So can I ask you a question?
What's up?
I just want to ask you a question right there. Did she have any supporting documents or any proof? Is this just a story?
No, everything was supportive. Everything. She had paperwork. She had pictures. She had videos. Everything. Now, of course, specifics I can't say are all facts, but to back up everything she told me, she backed up with videos, son, hotel staff, the paperwork showing that she had gotten oral chlamydia. I had put her in contact with Tim Savage. Tim Savage said that his daughter had contracted chlamydia as well as herpes and things like that. And so it just kind of grew, and that video hit like 5 million views. And from then on, everything that we've ever dropped on R. Kelly was always with either someone that was like a direct family member, sort of like how they're doing this documentary, someone that was in a sexual relationship with him, or they had documents to back it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
But go ahead. Sorry about that.
So no. So from that point, that's when, aside from your personal situation that happened to you, now you're given the kind of the open leeway to take charge on this story because people are now entrusting you to get it out there.
Yeah, I was the only outlet that wasn't afraid to put out everything. Like, know how mainstream media is. They're going to censor. They're not going to say, oh, he gave a girl oral chlamydia. They still won't even acknowledge the herpes and things like that, even though it was said in court. It was said in court in testimony after testimony. But it's just, I took a different approach than what traditional mainstream media does and still does, and it worked.
Now, when we fast forward through all of this, how your relationship with the Clary family?
I don't fuck with them.
Okay. At one point you did, no?
Yeah, I did. Because I think when the money got involved, their intentions changed.
Okay.
Because first it started off with, I wanted my daughter back. Asbro was very much with R. Kelly. She went with R. Kelly underage, right? She was 17. He flew her back home to graduate.
I have court documents here, though. To even what you're saying with that, there's court documents here showing that the mom was posing as her, stating that she was in fact 18 when she was asked how old she was, and she had fake IDs and things like that. Was that ever something that was correct? Okay.
That is correct. And we did put that out there.
No, you didn't.
Because I don't understand why a mother would do this.
She's lying.
But from her standpoint, she didn't want R. Kelly to not work with her daughter because she was too young.
Okay.
So she felt, from what she told me, and her husband told me, is that it was strictly about him creating a career for Azrael.
Well, I just want to say, if I can interject, I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
To what you're saying with the career, I have so they have text messages here in these court documents from the phone showing the mother coercing her daughter to sleep with him, and she was actually telling her, my son-in-law is going to be older than me. You're trying to be with him right now. Let's just focus on getting you signed. And I quote, she says, well, you better get signed first, then married. The mom lets her know he's going to seduce you tonight, because she was using her phone to text back and forth with R. Kelly posing as her.
Correct.
And then, the girl says, LOL. The mom says, you have to give him a massage before he goes to bed. She says, laughing my ass off. No, I doubt it. She says, girl, you better, or he will get someone else. So I have all these text messages of the mom actually posing to be the daughter. And so, if he's sleeping, or if he's thinking he's corresponding with an 18-year-old, you know, as you know, I know you're a mom, I'm a
Right.
mom.
I'm a mom.
I don't have daughters, but listen, we can both agree that 18 is still young. Do you know what I'm saying? Up against however old, you know, as long 5 years older than 18 is still, you know, that's a big age gap because of whatever. But 18 is still consenting, if we can agree on that. So if the mom is, you know, coercing this whole situation, posing as an 18-year-old woman, whether or not, you know, we like it, she's legal. Is that I mean, I don't know. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
No, that is the reason why I fell out with the Clarys, is because they came to me with a very one-sided story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they came to me. Tim Savage introduced me to the Clarys.
Okay.
Sorry. Tim Savage introduced me to the Clarys. And so their stories were very similar. And of course, a mother comes to me and says, well, you know, I took her to an R. Kelly concert to help her to get over a breakup that she had went through, and she was suicidal. And so they ended up meeting R. Kelly and exchanging numbers. And then the mother leaves out a very, very, I'm talking about just, I can't even fathom a mom soliciting like her daughter to a grown man. It's, and they left that part out. And that was the reason why I probably did like 2 to maybe 3 exposés on the Savages and the Clarys, because both of them came from R. Kelly took my daughter, he took my daughter. But you left out that you negotiated. You sold your daughter.
Okay. So was this your turn? Absolutely. Was this your turning point where you just you cut them off, and
absolutely.
When you shifted from that, how did that make you feel? Feeling like, you know, you entrusted them to give you this information. You were a child victim, you know. How did this make you feel, finding out you were bamboozled of such a story of its magnitude?
Oh man, I would say it was devastating, because it was young Black girls, right? And I was a young Black girl at one point, and my family swept under the rug. My uncle molested me at 5 years old, like literally broke my hymen, right? And we're in court, and you know, we're going through, it took me back to that place. We're going through trial, and my grandfather at the time is the head sheriff in our town. And he made a deal with the judge, because he was found guilty, my uncle, that he would just make him leave town and never to return around me. But just please don't send him to jail, because he's somewhat young. He was 19 at the time. I was 5. And this man was penetrating me, giving me oral, making me give him oral and things like that. So it took me back to that place. And when I called the Savages and when I called the Clarys to let them know what I had, I said, it's one thing to come and give a story, right? And you support that story, but you leave out like these. I think they knew. I don't think they ever thought that people would find out. They did what they did. But I think they least expected it, that I would be the one to out them about it.
Because you were building, or you had I
don't think they saw it coming. I think they thought that I was like a pawn, right? Because it wasn't just them I was dealing with. I was dealing with a lot of other victims and things like that. But they thought that, you know, hey, I'm building this relationship with this blogger who's helping to garner a lot of attention to bring the public, since a lot of mainstream won't touch it, but leaving out very, very key details, and you soliciting your own child for services that help benefit you financially. With the Clarys, I believe it was like a t-shirt business of some shit, like some graphics or something they wanted to sell, and plus try to leverage Azrael, who could really fucking sing, a record deal. And then the Savages, I think it was like lingerie or something, or and a music deal for Joyceland. But to say that you know, that R. Kelly kind of acted on his own and pursued and kept their daughters, when in fact it was the mothers that because Jonjolyn Savage, Joycelyn Savage's mother was doing the same thing. And I can't confirm this, but it was told to me by a very, very trusted source that Jonjolyn actually had sexual relations with R. Kelly.
Oh wow! I can only speak on the legalities,
Right.
the
That's
paperwork
what I'm saying.
that I had.
Like, I know that's not because they weren't involved in this particular part heavy because Joycelyn is still very much with R. Kelly. Like she's the one that communicates with him now. But yeah, like that. They tried to have me arrested when I got the Savages and the Clarys. Went down to Gwinnett County Police Department to stop me from releasing the information that I had on them that showed that they sold their daughters to R. Kelly.
Well, even with that, I know you had mentioned about the concert that she was at. Right. I have even the disclosure here, the terms and conditions that, it says you have to be mature, you have to be 18 or older. If anyone under that age has to be with a consenting adult. And so just looking at all this, and again, I personally can and will only speak on the paperwork, the legalities of it, if that makes sense. And so they obviously knew what they were doing. And that's that here. Yeah. So you have to be 18 years of age. All of that is right here. So I don't quite understand how that worked out.
And see, this is how I'll save that for the end. I'll save this part for the end. So go ahead, ask your questions. No, because I'll tie it all in.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. But as far as the BOP officer is concerned with the emails, how did that relationship and communication even begin for you to be the source of this person? Because from what I was told directly from Robert, this BOP officer accessed the emails from the jail system, from the jail communications, got it from the emails, sent it to her Gmail, and then gave it to you. There was 60, let me see here. There was about 60 officers who accessed that, who they were authorized. There were 60 officers authorized within the BOP agency to use or to have access to this. But this one in particular that shared the emails with you was out of Wisconsin, that literally had nothing to do with the trial at all. And she accessed these emails 153 times and shared it to you. What can you please tell me, like, what was that relationship between you and her? And was there a barter? How did that go about?
Okay, so I've never talked about this, so you're going to get an exclusive. Well, we're both.
Hello.
We're both getting exclusives because I'm gonna put it out. Of course, like I said, we got a lot of language like pedophile and rape and all that stuff, and sexual assault has to be omitted, but the story itself can go out.
Let's drink some water. Hold on a minute.
Yeah. Well, I got one. I need another bottle. So,
girl, don't get if I start drinking, I'm gonna get in trouble.
The BOP officer didn't know that it was a BOP officer. I received an email from an anonymous source that said, "Hey, I have access to the phone calls and the records and sent some." So I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, like this is commissary. This is like,
so this is official. Emails. So you knew
that like
whatever
this is
email you got.
Listen, I put it out. I literally was like, damn, here you go. Like I literally put it out. And it's still public on my channel. There's a link that goes to what I received. So what I received, I put directly out. Of course, I omitted, like, of course, because there were documents that were like scanned in. So I didn't ask. If it's official, I don't need to go into where it's coming from or how they got it, because that's not my business, right? Because I don't want them to think that, and that's one of the reasons why I've never, ever, ever, ever bought or solicited buying anything, paying for one interview, paying for a receipt, paying a source. No one can ever say Tasha K or to Phileas or the production company that we're under can ever say they receive any type of payment or solicitation of payment or bribe to sit down on my platform. Everyone that has come to me has came to me organically and authentically. I didn't ask that person
on the record, you didn't buy these documents, you weren't paid, you didn't pay for it, none of that.
Absolutely not. And if that went down, I would be in jail. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
We're talking about the Justice Department opened up a case. And I was not, a lot of people would be scared, but I was just like, I didn't break no law. So what am I scared? You know what I'm saying? Because I saw I think it was like the Chicago Tribune and it was a few others and all these emails. And I was just like, man, listen. And they were trying to say that I had solicited or somehow reached out or asked for this information. No, the same way everybody has come to me organically, which people find it hard to believe. Like, why are they coming to you? And I'm like, why would they not come to me? I'm one of the realest bitches on the internet, and I'm not controlled by a network. I don't have political push or a political position when it comes to putting this stuff out. I am completely independent on my own. And so if we get out here and we get it right, we get it right. If we get it wrong, we issue apologies, right? That's just how it works. And I've kind of made my own lane doing that and sticking to it. And one thing that I learned working under people who have been in the talk space or the independent spaces, you have to be as authentic as possible, meaning there are some interviews that you may want, right? We have celebrities that come across us that I could literally leverage 20 million views easily. They want to be paid. Why would I pay you to sit down and have a conversation with me?
Right.
I'm not going to do that because then it's not going to come across authentically. I watched Barbara Walters and Whitney Houston and her sitting down willingly and they were high. Crack is cheap. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of interviews that I want. You understand what I'm saying? That has, we're not doing radio promo. We're not doing a book tour. I want authentic. I want the baby mama. I want the sister. I want the cousin. I want everybody that's around you because guess what? They're going to tell me shit that you ain't going to tell me because there's always a political motive or a brand motive behind it. So no, I wasn't worried about it. Didn't lose sleep over it. I was 6 months pregnant when they launched the investigation, and the feds that charged him in his RICO case put me under subpoena to turn over all of the sources that I had so that they could use it to try against him. And I was like, absolutely not. If I give you my sources, what business would I have? And so my criminal defense attorneys who deal with cases like this, the same ones who I used in my Cardi B case, they have gotten me out of a lot of shit legally, right? That people were trying, feds and the Justice Department, police departments, the Savages and the Clarys, running down to the police department to put warrants out on me for putting out information that exposed them because they were getting checks and clout from surviving R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? As long as they can keep this alive and keep their daughter with R. Kelly and keep the interviews coming. And when they hired PR agents, as long as they could keep that coming, if Tasha K would have dropped a recording of Tim Savage, which I did after we got the warrant lifted, because if I would have said his name, I would have gone to jail. So they use tactics like that where they'll put like a restraining order on you, and they've done it to me. And if I violate that restraining order, I go to jail. So once it was off, I was able to freely just tell the story. And once I let loose, I slaughtered their asses. You ain't seen the Savages since. You ain't seen the Clarys since. Not like that, though. Not like that. You ain't seen. They used to be on this internet heavy until I put out the receipts.
Wow.
But go ahead.
So now this BOP officer, she contacts you. She gives you all this stuff. You're blown away. You do your show. I was able to catch, a couple of your shows talking about, the contact that you have that gave you, because you did say on the show, you got a contact over at the Cook County, whatever. And, they gave you stuff. And
let me tell you, I'm gonna give you another exclusive. It was so heavy at that point. It was so heavy. I had a contact reach out to me to give me Drea Kelly's sealed divorce Sorry, it's a goddamn mosquito. Sealed divorce. She is in the middle of leveraging contracts with Lifetime and everybody. She's doing interviews, she getting paid, but she don't want the elements of that divorce to come out. And when I tell you, I fucked up because I was so excited. And I was like, guess what? I'm going to get literally, I had like half of the pages. And I said, somebody about to send me the other half. Before I could get the other half, they went and deleted the whole goddamn divorce out the system.
What?
They was on me. So she had them lock it. I was so excited because I had the first like 20, 30 pages. Every motion, everything, shit that people couldn't even get. They was just sending it to me. And I was like, ooh, I said, ooh, you dirty bitch. Ooh, I was reading this shit. Wow. I was like, you coming out here to me, he had you in chains and you willingly was in chains because you was a freak. Like, seriously.
Right.
Because she was young when she married him. But go ahead, girl.
So, I mean, but now...
It gives me an adrenaline rush when I get shit like this. Because I was like, they called and they deleted it. And my source was like, I can't get it. They locked the system down. You said something. And I was like, fuck. I was so excited. I was like, oh, I got this bitch.
That was probably right at the beginning when you were like, I got to be smarter than this.
No, that was right after I had got the emails from the county.
Oh,
I got all that around the same time.
And you say, I sound like Wendy? You do the work like her, okay? So maybe there's a little, because I might sound like her, but you do the work like her. This is Wendy's back in the day. Hello. Listen. I was like, I said, Drea get her ass on this Lifetime documentary and tell another lie. I'm about to put out the motion. Oh my Lord.
Oh yes.
At any point of all of this, though, hold on, let me just get this to stand up properly. At any point of all of this, were you afraid? Like, were you nervous? Were you afraid? Did you feel like, how did you feel?
Hell no. Mm-mm. When you come from where I come from, real gangsters move in silence. Okay? And so, and one thing about reporters, like I'm not in Gaza or in what is it, Libya, on the front line. That's not what this is. You understand what I'm saying? And so everything that I had gotten, I got it because I was supposed to get it. I got it because I put in the work and I built trust with these people. And one thing that I've always said to me, I say, if you lie to me, I'm gonna expose you.
Yeah.
And I was very clear with them. If you lie to me, I'm going to expose you. And I've made word on that. And that's why there's this thing that goes around on the internet. Don't do an interview with Tasha because she will turn on you. I will. If I catch you in a lie, I'm going to drag your ass on this same platform that you use to drag somebody else.
Right.
So don't think that you exempt from this, okay? So, and when people come to me to expose people, you have to understand what type of people are these people?
Yeah. Well,
there's always a motive behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
When it comes to, okay, so we've got the BOP officer. When you found out that person who gave you all of this information essentially retired, how did you feel? Like, what, did she stop contacting you? Was there a conversation? Was it just the emails and that was it?
Her and I did find out it was her. We never had conversations. It was only through email.
Okay.
Everything that we had discussed is the Justice Department has. Like, and they saw, like, I was contacted. And here's the thing, too. She wasn't the only person that contacted me. I literally said this the other day. I said, if they would have arrested this person, they would have had to arrest everybody else that read his emails. When R. Kelly went to jail, everybody was listening to his shit. And do you know how bad that would have made the Bureau of Prisons look? For them to have to reprimand hundreds of officers across different states? Because this has been a practice that's ongoing. This is not just an isolated situation with R. Kelly. They listen to every inmate's call. That's why when someone gets arrested, my dad worked in the Bureau of Prisons 30 years. and they receive the files and they go and they do the work, especially if it's a celebrity coming in, they all gather to see what it is, what have they done, right? Bill Cosby went into the prison that my dad had just retired out of. So he's like, I'm sure they looked that up. They look it up. If you touched a child, they know it. And that's when these pedophiles get in there and they really have to figure out how they're going to, keep them safe, because they know once it gets to the inmates, there's going to be a problem for them. And so everybody, that would have to take them dismembering the Bureau of Prisons as a whole with this one R. Kelly situation. Was it, I wouldn't even say was it fucked up. No, it wasn't, because it's culture. It's the media. The media's been getting shit like this, right? They get private emails. The news does it all the time. They've been doing it for years. Hillary Clinton's emails. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens between media and just stuff like this goes on all the time. So no, I wasn't. No, they would have had to arrest themselves.
Right.
With me, right, and with everybody else.
Right. Now, as far as the federal informant, what's your contact with him?
What federal informant?
Larry McGee.
Larry McGee. Let me look at my email. Hold on for a second. The only Larry I know is Larry Reed.
Okay.
And could he be a federal informant? He could.
We do have him on record saying that he has spoken to you many times. He said that he recently tried to contact you, but your number has changed. Can you speak to that?
Did he use an alias?
I can only speak to the documents and information that I do have. And as far as I know, I can't say yes or no, but I do know he did say that he.
So in my email, let me cover up this phone number. I have, you know how is his last name spelled MC? It came up MCGEE.
Yes.
Right?
McGee.
All right, let me cover up this phone number. Okay. So I have one email from October 15, 2022. And he said, I have a story. Contact me. Can you see the name?
I can't quite see the name, but I'll take your word for what you have.
So what about this? I don't.
Well, I just wanted to know.
Federal informers.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, just any contact, any kind of communication with him. And like I said, we do have a recording of him saying that he has spoken to you many times. So he's saying he's spoken to you many times and about just the whole case, and that he recently tried to reach out to you and you changed your number, so he can't seem to contact you, and that's all I have on him. So I just wanted you to
you have paperwork on him that he's a federal informant?
I have he speaks and he does his own whatever he does out there. Not too much on him.
So he says that he's. Let me tell you something.
I do have a recording.
With this R. Kelly case, let me tell you something that I've seen that it's real creepy. You'll have people that'll say, oh, like the R. Kelly sisters, we're his sisters. Those are not his sisters. That people who gets on the internet and labels themselves as a federal informant? Who doesn't? Like that don't even sound right to me. So did you get this from the paperwork? That he was a federal informant? Is this in the case?
So between paperwork, between just different videos of him speaking, and also I spoke to the strategist that's very close with R. Kelly, Sharon Winbush. She shared some information with me about this.
You spoke with Sharon?
Hello?
You spoke with Sharon?
Yes.
She said she a strategist? Child, that whole line. She was a chef for a few months in R. Kelly's mansion, who has been running around here telling the same story and been making up shit as she go. Sharon is not a strategist. She's a cook. She was a cook back in the 1990s.
Okay.
And she still used that same picture that she did from that one interview. It's some weird people. You got to be careful with these folks. They're going to take you down a wormhole. Don't go. But go ahead. I can't believe Sharon done lied like that. Strategist. Go ahead.
That's all I have. So moving on from this federal informant, what's your take on everything in a whole right now? You know, just looking on the wider scope, we just recently saw Lifetime release another Surviving R. Kelly, their final chapter. Everything that you've been through as far as, you know, dealing directly with the Clarys, the Savages, this BOP officer, the emails, the Department of Justice, you know, silencing you, sort of say, when it comes to certain things. What's your, and then again, like I said, this Lifetime movie that just was released, what is your scope and viewpoint on everything in totality from then to now?
It was my turn now. Okay. So, to start with Lifetime, I have no thoughts on Lifetime. Lifetime is just like any other network. They are in this for profit. Lifetime piggybacked a lot of what I put out, so much so that they had to go back to the drawing board and get it right for their second leg of it and third leg of it, because it was just so heavy. Like I remember Lifetime being dragged all over Twitter with my name saying, y'all literally took this off Tasha's channel, right? That's how much noise we were making. I'm talking about millions and millions and millions of views. And they just took it, put it in a documentary, even reached out to me a few times to come and sit down. And then they chose Wendy Williams, even though Wendy wasn't covering the story, right? And so I have no thoughts on Lifetime. They're just in this for profit. They haven't paid any of the victims. You know, a lot of the stories that I did do on R. Kelly, I didn't get paid off of that. That was strictly me doing media, right? That was strictly me going after the story. And they found a way. They were able to leverage it. They made millions of dollars and didn't pay any of these people any money. Now they used it to sell books and to sell themselves in interviews and stuff like that, and to gain clout. But as far as them getting paid, so I just have no true remorse, and I don't think it's coming from a good place when it comes to Lifetime, right? So that's my thoughts on that. Federal informant, I just don't know who sits on the internet and say they're a federal informant. And if you're a federal informant, you're supposed to be a federal informant, and they use you secretly in court. So that stuff, like, I try not to give light to that stuff because I don't know. And I only have one email from a Larry McGee. And that was back in 2022. Maybe he came under an alias and gave me some stuff. But if he has an alias, then maybe I could speak on that. But I don't know anybody by the name of Larry McGee. Sharon Wimbush, that bitch is crazy. So I'm just going to let you know. You should have asked R. Kelly about her. Also, as far as the BOP officer, that was just like any other story. Someone coming to me, they got some receipts. I put the receipts out. Obviously it didn't go anywhere with the Justice Department. They didn't see anything wrong with it because they decided not to pick it up, because it would have they would have had to dismember the Bureau of Prisons, because everybody does that, right? This is a culture. They've been selling stories in media. Some of them sell stories in media. So what are you really trying to uncover here? And do you really want to do this at the heart of letting someone go a second time that was able to get away the first time because he kept fucking with Shona LaFleur, right?
Right.
And her family worked. Her family worked for them. So on to R. Kelly. So this is why I reached out to you, because I was broken. Sister to sister, Tasha to Tasha. Because, like, I felt like you were somewhat agreeing with him that, like, I broke the law and I should be in prison for putting out what I put out. And, like, we're both media. And that's the reason. That's what prompted me. I was like, well, let me have a conversation with her, because I mean, it is a big deal that you got R. Kelly on your platform. That's a big deal, and I respect that. But to aid in his delusion, that's what bothered me the most, because I'm just like, you're just coming in on the tail end of this story. We've been doing this 5 years, right? There's nothing that I don't know. I've been subpoenaed by the same feds that have persecuted him and that walked in the court. I don't know. Did you see that video of them pushing all those carts in the court of evidence? You didn't see that video?
I've seen a lot. Let's just say
okay, that. So they had this one video the first day of trial. They had about 9 federal agents, and they had boxes stacked up of evidence that they pushed in the court because he got away the first time. They came in with a RICO charge, and it worked. Okay, it worked. The way that they did it, they put everything that he got away with over the last 30 years under one umbrella and charged him for running a criminal enterprise, and it was fucking brilliant. Only mob bosses get that, because he thought and he said that he was untouchable, right? Because guess what? Black people don't care about their daughters because Black women have sold their daughters to him. So he somehow feels as if it's not his fault. That is, I don't even think there's a word bigger than narcissist for that. And so when I saw the interview between you and him and your producer, said, now y'all are media. I was shocked that y'all didn't take it from a media standpoint to say, well, I mean, hell, if we would have received this shit would have went out. If you had received, you can't tell me, if you had received an anonymous file of jail calls, commissary transactions between Rashona LaFleur, the first 14-year-old girl that was in the tape, that he got off on, right? Sending him commissary, putting money on his books while he's in jail. That's what he was mad about. He was mad because the girls that thought they was the only girls, and there was more girls that we put out that was putting money on his books. See, there's a very, very scandalous bishop said this to me. You gotta, I say this all the time. You gotta forget who the messenger is, just get the message. The most scorned people in the world are the ones that turn on you, and it's women, it's mistresses. They're the main ones that put niggas in jail, okay? And at the end of the day, whether these were young girls, he played them, and they were scorned. And they got more and more embarrassed, okay, as everything unfolded. It wasn't just me, right? Everybody saw that Gayle King interview of him telling them what to say, you know? But he's living in this delusion, and I was just shocked that traditional media, because you're considered traditional media, right? You broadcast traditionally, and you do it on the internet. I just do it strictly on the internet. To see that, I'm like, you mean to tell me, Natasha Simone, if you were in my position, you wouldn't have put out the information? You would have just let it go?
So I will say this. I want to clear up some things with you. I don't want to see you go to jail. That definitely was.
But that's not going to happen, because I mean, nothing came of it, and the investigation was done about 2 years ago. So maybe 3 years ago. 3 years.
And that's not the leg I was even. That's not even the leg I was standing on when I even put the story out there. I was just literally. I have legal documents in front of me. I've got them all over, between my email, between videos, all types of stuff. You know, I'm inundated with everything of what I'm being fed from that side. And when it comes to the BOP, extracting the emails, that, and giving it to anyone outside of that system, whether her name is Jane Doe or Tasha or Natasha, that is illegal. So that's all that I was clearing up, that this BOP officer performed an illegal activity, and that is witness tampering. And by them giving it to you.
It's not witness tampering. I have to cut you off there. It's not witness tampering. What she sent me had nothing to do with her infringing on her case. R. Kelly wasn't even indicted then. See, that's what he fails to get across. And see, that's how I knew, like, you had came in at the tail end of things and you were just taking his word at face value. There was no indictment at the time. There was no indictment. And the reason I know that is because the USAIDs wanted my sources so that they could indict him. So there was no way there could be witness tampering when he was still fucking the girls that they locked him up on, I think it was like tax fraud. It didn't even have anything to do with the RICO charge at the time. They didn't have anything. So he didn't, what he's trying to say, it doesn't make sense. And I think anything that he says right now, he just wants to find any loophole that he can that will help him to leverage an appeal so that they can order a new trial. And this is what he's hanging on, which is Tasha K somehow got my emails, was given to him from the Bureau of Prisons, and that was used against him and caused some type of dysfunction in his harem of women, which caused them to be scorned to testify against him. First of all, I've always said this on my platform. This girl had no business on that fucking stand. That was the last person they should have put on the stand. I wouldn't have even taken her testimony. But they didn't really need her testimony. What they did was they overwhelmed the jury with so much other shit that her testimony really, I don't think it made or broke the case because of all the other supporting evidence that they had against him that they wheeled in the court. Like starting with Aaliyah and him illegally obtaining marriage licenses and shit like that, and taking her to an abortion clinic and marrying her, and then Roshana LaFleur. They built 30 years of shit over, and you want to take a Bureau of Prison officer or anybody that's in the Justice Department leaking emails, which they've been doing for centuries to the media, is now somehow unethical. It's not unethical. It's unspoken rules that go on between media and the people who have the receipts. So to say that this Bureau of Prisons officer should be in jail and should be reprimanded, so should the other 60 people that they saw access his emails. That they found. Because I'm sure it's more.
Those other people, did they send anything to you?
No. Listen, I received there was multiple sources. And the Justice Department were very, very cooperative with them about that. They got access to my emails, but I wasn't going to give them things that my lawyers, Olga and Sadir, fought against for my protection of being in the media space. If I give you my sources, you've taken my livelihood. I have protection under the media law. So whether you qualify me as a certified journalist or not, I am still in the media space. And my attorneys were able to really make a case, and I didn't have to provide shit. But when they found out that I was receiving, that's when they tried to use it as, oh, we got her now. You ain't got shit because I ain't bought shit. I ain't solicited shit. I don't bribe. Pay my taxes on time. You don't understand when the feds come to look at you, they look at every damn thing. I'm 6 months pregnant in the middle of a fucking court case with my sister-in-law, and then y'all over here with this R. Kelly shit. I'm with child. I got motherfucking private investigators knocking at my door asking about R. Kelly. I got sister-in-law hiring private investigators to come after me. It was so much shit happening. And my lawyers were able to, they were trying to lock me up. Sister-in-law, savages, Clarys, R. Kelly people, private investigators, Justice Department. They were trying to find anything on me, and they couldn't find shit. because everything that was given to me authentically. I didn't ask for it. I didn't contact nobody. I didn't bribe nobody. We did what any media outlet would have done, including you, if you had got this, because you didn't break a law. Like imagine yourself in my position. You're just minding your business saying, boop, they go your email. It's like receiving documents from Anonymous. Oh, well, here, look what we have here. So, and they just couldn't understand it because they underestimated me. Oh, she's Black. She has no media credentials. Who the fuck is she? She's had to do something to get here. But when they found out that it was authentic, they had to back the fuck up. So him and you and Rick Fox, what is his name? Rick, I'm sorry.
Rick Party.
I called him. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm swayed by that because I was just like, wow, like we're Black media and you know how hard it is for us to get these type of stories and even make them mainstream to the point where the feds have to feel they have to fucking open an investigation. And the last thing that I want to hear from another fellow media personality is that I somehow sold or bought or bribed. And all of that is false. And his lawyers are trying to hang on to that. And they've investigated and didn't find that I've done anything. And like I said, if, in fact, they were going to charge whoever the officer was that sent me the stuff, they had to charge everybody that accessed and gave the shit out. It wasn't just, and it would have looked bad on the Justice Department. And guess what? They would have had another case fail with R. Kelly again. And are they willing to dismember their Justice Department for a pedophile? Because at the end of the day, and this is what I'm gonna leave on, and I'll let you ask a question to carry us on out because I was just told we got 15 minutes of recording time left. At the end of the day, whether the parents, I was 5 years old, I was a child. Children cannot give consent. My parents can't give consent for me to be sexually involved with anybody. At the end of the day, R. Kelly has a very, very hard time taking blame and him sticking his penis over and over and over again in women who were on the cusp of either underage or of age or doing things that violated their civil rights as women, right? At the end of the day, nobody did that with him. As big as an icon as he was, he is very sick mentally. And I see that he is still very sick mentally because for him to sit down, to sit and call and take a call from your production team to forget about all the other shit that they had on his ass and how they charged him as running a fucking crime organization. And then they slowly taking down everybody that was in it. Don Russell, the old managers, everybody's getting charges placed on their asses right now, and they fighting, right? Right now as we speak. So people are saying, oh, well, they're not charging his team. Bullshit. His lawyer, who was writing the $250,000 checks to these victims that they had contracts on, magically got hit by a car in the middle of the day. Yeah, white lady. Magically got hit by a car in the middle of the day. They backed up, ran over the bitch, ran over her again, and left the scene in an unmarked van. She was a lawyer that had R. Kelly Enterprises in her name and that wrote and settled all of the cases, okay, with these victims that came to them saying that R. Kelly had sex with them underage, even though he wrote out these contracts and say, you know what, swear that you're 18. In Chicago, you can be 17. It's fine. But in other states, you cannot. And that's why they got him under the Mann Act. That's why they got him transporting minors. And that's why they were able to not charge the parents because they offered the parents immunity in exchange for their testimony to tell the truth so that they can lock his ass under the jail. Because at the end of the day, if I bring you my child, yeah, that could be considered sex trafficking on my end. But at the end of the day, R. Kelly still committed sex trafficking. He still put his dick in children. He still put his dick in Black women, Black girls who were not protected at home and by him. And at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what he say. He can say, lock me up, put me in jail. But that's just the bottom fucking line. He's sick. He's perverted, and I'm glad that his ass won't get out of jail until he's 85 plus years old. So that's just my thoughts on that. I'm sorry, Tasha. I've never spoken on this like this.
No, I appreciate you for speaking to me. I know that this is out of your own platform and comfort zone. So I do appreciate you for even talking to me. But, I want to apologize to you, woman to woman, Tasha to Tasha, forget woman to woman, okay. Tasha to Tasha. Okay. Tasha to Tasha. Okay. I do want to apologize for how you felt when you did receive, just everything and what you saw and how I was talking about the story. My intentions were not, of course, I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm here to report a story. R. Kelly called us. We took the call. We and we put it out there. So in the light of which you received this email, or emails or just any kind of correspondence, throughout the duration of this, along with your own personal story that you have, you did and we did what any other person in the media in our space would do. I'm here in the media on social media just like you. You use one platform and I use another platform, and we're both doing the same thing apart. Does that make sense? And
I understand, yeah.
And
and that's why I said, like, when I contacted you, I was like, listen, like, we can hash it out as grown women. I'm not on here to attack you. That's not even my style, right? Yeah. Yes, I'm very strong in my opinion, as you can see, but I don't need to disrespect anybody to get my point across. Like, we're both grown women, we're both mothers, we're both in the media space, and I can respect that, but it was bothersome because I was just like, I felt like you guys were coming in on the tail end, and yes, you got a big exclusive, but there was just a lot that was missing. And when you go back 30 years, me receiving some emails of R. Kelly's commissary and conversations between who his favorite girlfriend was, and what does that got to do with your case? That wasn't witness tampering. We ain't bribing witnesses to get on the stand and say this. We're not doing any of that. And I've always stressed that Azrael was very compromised because Azrael was coming from a very mean-spirited, vindictive, vengeful state. She was very much with him up until the end, willingly ate shit, willingly took piss, willingly organized fucking everything, checkbooks, all that shit, leases and stuff, told her parents, fuck you, fuck off. You did this. You know what I'm saying? She was telling the truth from the beginning when she said that her mama took her the fuck down there. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want that to come out. And they were trying to, when they got out, instead of going to the police, they dealing with documentaries and shit, trying to make money off of that because R. Kelly refused to do any deals with them or make their daughter the superstar that they wanted her to be. And so at the end of the day, I just felt like her testimony was not real, and she still loves him. If he was today, that little girl will be back at that motherfucking condo. You didn't see how happy she was when he got like locked up and she was able to show off the titties that he had bought her in the condo. She was putting on different outfits, her and Joycelyn,
But then she ended up turning on the whole case. She ended up turning after these emails and seeing there was other women involved and who was involved and how they were involved. And I don't, this is a big, I will say this, I know we have to wrap up.
Whose fault is that though? But at the end of the day, whose fault is that? It's not her fault. It's his fault. That ain't got nothing to do with me. He mad because I exposed that he had different levels of relationships with these women and that he was still fucking with the little girl that was in the first tape.
Yeah. Listen, it's a big case. It's there's a lot of different parts to it, and you had your own.
Closed. It's a case closed now. His ass is under the jail. Look, it's just 4 years in the making. 4 years in the making. Boy, when we got that verdict, I said, oh damn, we got him. But the way the feds did, I gotta tell you, this is some of their best work that they've done. Now I said if they were only sticking to the Azrael recent victims, they would have lost big time. And that's when I was just like, you know what? He may have been innocent in this because he honestly thought them girls was 18 because their parents took them down there. But when they roped everything into it, at the end of the day, R. Kelly is responsible for continuously having sex with underage Black women and meet them and picking them up at McDonald's or the mall.
Right. Tasha, you was a strong Black woman. I listen. I
so
applaud
are you,
you.
sis. So are you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
definitely applaud you for you. You know, you stand firm, and I could tell that you're passionate in what you do. Not just with this case. I can tell you're very passionate in making sure you have as much information as possible to speak as loud as you do. And I mean that in a very literal sense, you know, without doing your homework, you know, you're not sitting there mincing your words and biting your fingers and looking dumb. You know what I'm saying? So I applaud you for that. I like
Thank
I said, I do Tasha to Tasha, woman to woman, media personality to media personality. I don't use my platform to make people feel bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't use my platform to incriminate anybody. I speak about different topics. I have various amounts of guests that come on. I invite you to come on my show one day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We could do something fun like that.
Okay.
So, you know, I every time I talk on this microphone, I make sure I use it responsibly. And if I'm wrong in something, I'm gonna be loud about it, as loud as I was in delivering it. So you messaging me and having me on your platform, I do want to let you know that my intentions, you know, were not to make you feel away. It was not to, you know, say, I want this lady in jail. That's, you know, I want you to thrive, you know, in the same space that we're both going to thrive together. I'm going to meet you. We're going to be on the same, you know, we're going to be in the same room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so I want the best for you.
And I appreciate it. And I'm glad that we were able to dialogue about this, because there's been so many assumptions made. And I felt like, since you guys were a respected media outlet, that I'm like, if I'm gonna tell this story, first of all, it's gonna go to a Black outlet. It's gonna go to someone who was able to leverage an interview the way that you guys did, and two, somebody that I could dialogue with and feel safe enough to talk to, because there are a lot of people who feel that way, that I should be in jail, that I'm responsible for putting their R&B legend in jail and from saving their daughters, or them from selling their daughters to him as well. And so, yeah, it's a lot of sick motherfuckers out here. And so, unfortunately, I'm here to expose it all, just like you said, you get it right, you're loud, and you get it wrong, you're just as loud. And I've been just as loud with the mistakes that I've made and have owned up to that. And that's why I was just as loud against the Clarys as well as the Savages or anybody else that brought me not the whole story.
Sure.
You brought me your story, but you didn't bring me the whole story. And once I got the whole story, my job is to report the whole story. So I don't know if y'all thought that I was in your pocket. I'm not a bitch that you put in your pocket. Okay? I don't have pockets. You feel me?
Yes.
You know? So, and that's why you know, I just want to thank you for even listening to me, and agreeing to do it, because a lot of people would have ran. I ain't gonna lie, they would be like, "What the?" They do. They like Tasha K want to talk to me. I ain't talking to her. This is set up.
No. I called my producer right away. I called him right away. I was like, no. I said, you won't believe this. He was like, what? I said, I'm lying with Tasha K's in my inbox. He said, I know you lying. I said, now why would I lie about this? So no, I didn't run at all. As a matter of fact, I saw there was, you know, because we're not following each other over there. So it goes to that other. And I said, oh man, it's been a minute. And I was like, okay, let me respond back now, because I don't want her to think I'm ignoring her. You know, no, listen, I step up to the plate. I don't run from anybody. I don't run from any story. Clearly, I don't run from any story. My thing is bring it on. I'm going to present it, and we go from there. So, you know, listen, I take my microphone off to you. I'm here on your platform. One day when you step over and come over to the other platform, I'd love to have you on. And, you know,
anytime.
Listen, I would be more than honored to just present you to an audience of people who, you know, don't understand you and your style and conversation of how you present media. So I would love to have you over there. Listen, why not?
Just hit me up and I'll get my assistant to to set it up, and I love to come on your platform. So yes, and again, I appreciate you even trusting me to have this conversation. And like I said, I've never had this conversation, and I think it needed to be had because I was just like, R. Kelly is dead set on really trying to make this stick, and he is like really like bleeding in his narcissism. And it's like, dude, it's got to stop. But I do want to sit here and I do want to continue to talk with you. My husband is waving because we are on very limited Wi-Fi here.
Yes.
It's not it's Africa.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
I respect you, sis. All your credentials will be at the bottom where they can follow you. I will put the link below so they can go and listen to the interview and stuff like that, and go and refresh themselves and stuff like that, and then come and support you as well. So I do want you guys to follow Miss Natasha Simona on all platforms, and continue to follow what she's doing. Support her. Drop wine bottles and wine glasses whenever y'all see her, and we'll definitely be doing work again soon. Okay. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Anytime. Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. So that was the interview. I was pissed off after I listened to it. Do you guys hear me? Who say drop the link? Who's saying drop the link? Who are you? Oh, that's Spitfire. Oh. I ain't know what her name is. I'm like, who this? Who's this MBI? Okay, got you, Spitfire. Got you. Here I go. Okay, sorry. I didn't know, Nikki. I didn't know. I don't have my glasses on and all that. I don't know. There she go. Now I see where it says bully's not. Yeah, I see you now. Hi, Spitfire.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. How are you doing?
Now, I was on my other channel. I had my regular channel too, R.A. Jackson, because you're in this channel is not coming up in none of my other platforms. So I had it wasn't coming up on Spitfire. It wasn't, and then R.A. Jackson, it kicked me out. So I couldn't keep on typing in there. So when I went to the Mib to use it, it worked fine. So they definitely shadow banning our channels. She is lying her butt off.
You know, I was so pissed off. I was so pissed. That's why I came in here and I said,
you know what? She's trying to save herself because he's incarcerated and he's starting to speak. So she's scared to death. She is lying her butt off. She's lying her butt off.
Yeah.
What
about the part she said he wasn't indicted when she got? No, he was indicted when the lady was sending you that stuff. Stop lying.
Yeah, because he was already in jail for damn near a year when she was sending you that stuff. He was in jail for about a good 6 months already. So she's lying. And if he wasn't already indicted or they didn't have him indicted, he was indicted before they even brought it to the public. Why would they even give him an arrest then? She's just lying. Did you see what I put in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah. Look at Dottie. Look what Dottie said.
How can we get on there? How can we get on there?
Well, I sent her a message When I listened to it, I sent her a message. I was like, "She's lying." I said, "Robert was indicted already." I said, I mean, I was just pretty upset. I was very upset.
She is lying her behind off.
I was so upset.
Yes, Dottie. Dottie, come up on here. Hit the link.
I was so freaking upset.
She just go sit up there and lie and say he was in there for taxes. She
Yeah.
said he was in there for taxes. She lied and said that Aaliyah had an abortion. That
Yeah.
ain't none of that came out in trial.
Aaliyah never had an abortion.
But you can't just be putting that on people. You already in trouble with Cardi B saying that stuff. She just ain't learned her damn lesson.
Nope, she hasn't. Yeah, this is ridiculous. It's
And then the woman, Natasha Simona, she was just so easily to be converted. She listened to her and just was like, okay, I agree with you now. How you have R. Kelly on your channel speaking his speech and giving him his voice, and then she gets on there, don't even know him, and you just flip like that. Like it doesn't make sense. How is it that a blogger who people had to give information to tell you about this man that she don't even know personally, and you just sit up there and go with it? Like, oh, this stuff is just it just gets to me.
when you I didn't want to put the video up because last time I put her stuff up and she tried to strike me. That's why I just put the audio. Um, and Tasha's face, if to get not Tasha, Natasha's face, you can tell that she just was like not hearing it. You should have seen her face on it. So it's a difference when you can see it, the expression,
Yeah,
and
but if she wasn't hearing it, she should have been saying what she felt and give her some real respectable but challenging dialogue. I mean, I just don't feel like every time somebody come on here, you just saying lies, and she's so good at lying. You know what I mean? She's so good at lying because you gonna say that he's in there for taxes. He wasn't in there for taxes. He was in there for taxes because if he was in there for taxes, he would have got a bond.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was not in there for taxes. And to sit up there and tell that bald faced lie, to say, oh, well, they didn't have nothing. That's why, because I ain't buy nothing. So that's why they didn't go along with it. No, they didn't go along with it because they wanted him in jail so bad that they was willing to sweep that up under the rug. And they didn't want to sit up there and be held responsible. And see, this is why I said we got to really get to doing something. It's just bad. It's really bad. It's really bad.
yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. And then the people know that it's a lie. The people know that it's a lie. And then I'm telling you, the reason why she got on that channel about R. Kelly wasn't because she heard it. It was because when you played it on your channel, she knew. She watches your channel.
Yeah, she came after me and she
I
hit
came
this
after you a
thing.
few times and came in
Yeah,
your chat before.
yeah,
She
she came in my
watches
chat.
that.
Yeah, she
That's right.
she
And not only that, the big platforms watches your channel.
well, but I put it on this back channel because I don't want her, because I already got one guy already did a privacy thing already on me, and I didn't want that. So I said, let me just get back here.
So she watches your channel. So when you played that the other day and he was talking, she went on there and inboxed her to do that. So you know what? The thing of it is now is to um I don't even know what else to do because see, she has a large platform. She has a large platform. And so she gonna be able to get anybody she want because of her platform size.
Hey, Mika. Hey, Mika.
Good evening, Sylvia. Good evening, Spitting Fire. How y'all doing?
How are
Good.
you?
I'm good. I just want to say a couple of things.
Mhm.
Um, I just find it quite funny how she mentioned what happened to her when she was 5 and trying to make a comparison to what is going on right now. And I find it very strange because you're trying to make these ladies appear like they were 6 and 7 years old
Thank you, babe. Thank
because
you,
of what
babe.
you went through. It's a contradiction because at the end of the day, you're upset about your situation comparing it to these young ladies, but then trying to turn around and say young girls. These were grown women. So you're doing the same thing as the government, everybody else is doing, to spinning the narrative as though he's a pedophile when we understand and know what a pedophile is at the end of the day. I just find it so sad that people can come out with these lies and not be objective. And then even to the young lady who had to say she had the transcripts and stuff, did you really read the transcripts thoroughly? Or did you just pick and choose what you wanted to read and then give sort of information to her that she really didn't have? Because it sounded like to me, Miss Lady didn't read the transcripts at all.
No, she didn't read them. She didn't read the transcripts at all. And not only that, she was fanning out over Tasha K. Oh, Tasha K is in my inbox. Tasha K, she was fanning out over Tasha K. Like, girl, please, Tasha K is not on the equivalent of R. Kelly.
Exactly.
You
And
feel
I, and
me?
I
And then she sat up there and lied. Like, you just go lie like that. Like, you just ain't learned your damn lesson. And see, she needed to, the reason why she got on that channel and had old girl over there was because she needed that. Because he's around here going on big platforms talking. So it's like, oh shoot, now he's speaking. So people is starting to listen to his voice. So now she like, oh man, she got to hurry up and try to nip it in the bud. So everywhere he goes, she's gonna find herself going the same way. She gonna chase him. But if I was him, I would go on every big platform and make her ass chase him.
you
Because she ain't gonna be able to do anything on her channel because she's too busy trying to save face and then discredit him.
you know it's funny you said that, spitting fire, because when Sylvia played the thing when he was speaking, and I said I'm glad that he's talking because you don't get this one-sided narrative, and he's able to really say what's bothering him and how he's feeling. Because if it's just one-sided, everybody's going to take the one-sided narrative. But now that he's speaking, I think everybody is scared who either talk negative or who was disingenuous or wasn't really speaking what should be spoken. Because even she just said earlier, she says, "Well, uh, I can't confirm it." Why are you gonna speak on something that you can't confirm and put it out there anyway about the other Savage daughter? To me, that's
What she's okay, I came in at a certain point. What she said about the other Savage daughter?
she said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Sylvia. She said that R. Kelly is supposed to have slept with her.
What
I
what
think
what
no, she was talking about the mother. That was the mother.
Was it the mother?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. My
she
bad.
said that the R. Kelly slept with the Miss Jongelin?
yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that's the mother. But
yes.
see, that's the thing. You putting that out there, but you don't even know whether it's true or not. And that's another problem. If you don't have the facts, why you speak on stuff or your anonymous source or whatever the case may be, that's a disservice. That's a disservice. Period. I'm sorry.
Because see, she know right now, she knows that okay, first of all, their main goal was to get R. Kelly. They both when they were together and they was all down with each other, and she was growing her platform at the time, she was sitting up there, going after R. Kelly, and the parents were too. So they have to, even though she coming at them, it ain't too much that they're going to do because it's like a secret agenda. Like if you and I together and we doing dirty stuff, right? Me and you, and we trying to take down him, right? And we know we lying, and we know we scheming and scamming, and we know we doing wrong, right? But then you
Hmm.
and I fall out, right? Me and you fall
Hmm.
out, but I'm throwing digs at you, and you throwing digs at me. But that's all it can be because it ain't gonna go no further because I ain't worried about you suing me. because you know your butt did some wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like we can't stand each other now, but it ain't nothing we can do about it because at the common interest was R. Kelly. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
like she's saying he slept with Jongelin, but she ain't gonna be able to say nothing else. Jongelin can't say nothing. What she gonna say? She lying. We was lying
Right.
about R. Kelly. What she gonna
Right.
say? Nothing.
You know what? Spitfire, you was absolutely right. She was so scared of because you're calling all the way from Africa of something that's happening here.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You're scared. You're scared that something's gonna open up, and that's what's gonna happen. Hey, Nikki.
But
Hey,
this is
Hey,
exactly
Nikki.
hey,
why,
hey,
Miss Sylvia,
everybody.
this is exactly why we got to get on that channel.
Hey,
We've been R. Kelly media team for about 4 years now, and it's important for people to get not just on that channel, but just start speaking to everyone and opening my platforms and talking about this stuff because it's important. That's why I moved a lot of the stuff over to the MIB because I felt it was appropriate, better for that. And it can open up a lot of things. We use our platform to talk about it. And this is why I said big bloggers like her, and that's why I was mad about other people. That's all they want is clicks and views off the stuff that you went to the when you went to the courthouse, you and Dottie, okay, taking notes, sitting up there for times after time from this court case to that court case or whatever, me speaking on my platform and breaking down and researching all the stuff that we done did for all these years. And then they take this stuff, heifers like her with these big platforms, take this stuff and lie the way that she lied. The way that she would
mm-hmm,
never have us on there. She would
mm-hmm,
never have us on there because she know that she know we know. This is why I said because if she didn't know that we know, she know we know the truth, and that's why she watches you because of
mm-hmm,
your channel. Your look, you got 13,000 subscribers on Infamous Sylvia, but your brand is big. Okay,
Hmm.
don't let your subscribe count as big as your channel is. That don't mean anything. That millions of people watches who you are. Some people just scared to pick subscribe because they don't want maybe your channel and you advocating for this man to show up in a subscribe base. But the fact of the matter is your channel is big. She watches your channel. When you put that audio out there the other day, she made it her business to come behind R. Kelly and put her damn spin on it. And why
mm.
Hmm.
all the stuff that we done said, she know doggone well. She know doggone well. She would never have us on there. Never. Ever.
Wow. Wow. Good evening, everybody. This is author Nikki Michelle, and I thought it was time that I was able to just soak up you. I mean, infamous Sylvia, Spitfire, Sir Miguel. I just love y'all and I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. But it's time. I needed to say something tonight. I've been in the bushes. I've been on scene. I've spoken, but I need to share this. Um, been an R. Kelly fan since I was a young lady. And following you guys' content, how real, how transparent, and even Dottie. I can't even say enough for you all, even with Lady D. But let me say this. Yes, Tasha K was lying. It was fabricated. She's scared. One thing coming from Emory Law, everything that Natasha Simone has peeped out, she has peeped the game. That's why when everybody was in prayer today, and we were fasting. We can't box God in. We can't just make him do what we want him to do. R. Kelly got a voice on Natasha Simone. The producer, Natasha peeped the game and she played it like a fiddle because you can't snatch your hand out of a lion's mouth. Sometimes you got to ease it away. So Natasha Simone to me was doing what I would want any jury to do, and that is to listen. She's heard the fans and supporters, and now she heard the adversary for herself. And if you really caught what she was saying, she was throwing little nuggets back. So if you were in the spirit of discernment, you can see where she was drawing her out to keep talking. This
Mm-hmm.
woman talked in
She sure
riddles.
did. She sure
She
did.
talked
Mm-hmm.
in riddles
She
and
did.
she played herself to the point that this is going to be used. We can't get mad how God did it. Yes, I do believe there are times that we can go up against the brick and we can come out. No, you should have just blasted. You should have. Yes. But now that we've done all that these last several years, let's do another approach now. This woman called from Africa, as you indicated. That means a hit dog is going to holler real loud and it's hurt. She already knows the backlash that could come. Yes, Robert has now speaking. He and as Spitfire indicated, go get on there. Get on there. Put it out there. We've done it the same way. And what has that done? We've done it this way. And how's that worked out for us? So now it's time to let other people come in and hear both sides. I don't want anybody to take my word. And like Natasha and Spitfire, you've said it many times. The woman is hurt from her childhood. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
survivor. That's why I've always been so engaged. I have an uncle that's wrongly accused doing 37 years right now, and also being a survivor of sexual abuse. I cannot say enough. I don't need anybody to just take my word for it. I want you to hear what I got to say and investigate it. And if Natasha and Simone and any other platform or any other media outlet she thinks Natasha K thinks she is, you have a, as you say, spit and fire, a cultural obligation. How about a media obligation? And what happened to the media and the propaganda, they don't want to know the truth. We all
They
know what the
don't. They
truth
don't.
is. We know what it is. We can't say it any louder. Now it's time to keep praying, as Sylvia, you have been doing, as Sir Miguel, as you've been saying. It's time for us now to get it because I fast, I prayed. My grandmother loves Robert, 88-year-old. I have her on a video, on a voice recording now. I said, Mama, what would you say to Robert Kelly if you were ever to see him? And she gave the most humblest reply. And the prayer, he got people praying for him that don't even know nothing about bumping and grinding, but they know the anointing on that man's life. This is way bigger than um, just his music. It's way bigger than people supporting him. This is the actual culture of ours. That man brought people together through his music. He
Mm-hmm.
allowed, I went to an R. Kelly concert. One moment I'm bumping and grinding. Next minute he talking about Jesus loves me. I was confused. I had to leave because I felt convicted. I didn't know which one I wanted to do. But his worship is for real. His relationship with God is for real. And we prayed today, you guys. And the Tasha, giving Tasha K that platform for her to lie and spin this narrative. Who says that? Who says that? Who keeps calling girls little girls in 2023 when we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about sexually active teens? What are we talking about here? Why are we still calling them little girls in 2023? Think about it. Tasha K has been given an assignment from Lucifer himself, and she has played her part well. Now it's time for us to do ours. I love you guys.
I love you too.
Love you. Appreciate it. Let, let me say
Thank
one
you,
more thing.
Nikki. Thank you, Nikki.
I go on
Uh,
that channel. I go
uh,
on that channel. I will go on that channel and set this shit straight. It is time for somebody to speak because we did a good job for 4 years, in spite of the fighting, in spite of the bickering, in spite of everything. Because a lot of people, we didn't have a channel at first, and to have thousands of subscribers who listen to us and know exactly what it is we're saying and hear reading of the transcript to the point where you got the government act don't like you, that's when you know you're doing something good. And
mhm.
and then as much as YouTube shadow ban me, that's when you know you're doing something to shake the feathers. So I will. I don't know that her. I don't know this woman. Y'all gonna have to email on my behalf respectfully, because don't be using my name and y'all not. I want somebody educated to email that woman and put my email address, because here's the thing. Somebody got to do it because this here, that heifer can't get away with that from across the seas. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
lying, and then you just still lying. And not only that, what I don't get at all, why is they just lying on this girl who is deceased, who ain't speaking, who ain't talking for herself? They just put a narrative on her like she just that's not what she said. Aaliyah ain't never said nothing, and why can't that be respected by the public, by her fans? Why you just gonna make her you said she had an abortion? What did you do again? It was never openly public, and nobody know for certain. And you damn sure wouldn't know for sure. So why would you say something, a rumor like that, on this child's memory and name? What if her fans were pro-life and didn't believe in abortions and you said she got one? And I don't get, and then you talk about the parents can't consent for their daughters. Nobody is saying that the parents is consenting for their daughters. Nobody is saying that shit. What we're saying is, if you're talking traffic, let's talk it. Because what she's talking about and what Tasha K's talking about, and see, y'all need to clip this shit and send it to the Natasha Simonia or whoever, however you say her name. Excuse me for butchering it. But if she's sitting up there talking about some we thinking that the parents is consenting for their child to have sex with R. Kelly, not only did the judge was misinformed, not only is the public misinformed, and Tasha K supposed to be a big blogger, she misinformed. What I am saying, what Spin Fire has always said, since I started talking about this, and I always told everybody to follow the law. If your parents is supposed to be your first defense. Mm-hmm. Nobody in this world is supposed to take up for you more than your mama and your daddy. Okay, that's just given. That's like air. That's like breathing air. You go take up for your, if you are any type of parent, you go take up for your child, right? You go take up for you, and no matter how old they get, they still your baby.
Right.
Any type of decent parent that raised with traditional values, not perfect parents, but just to have the foundation, the traditional foundation, you go take up for your child. So what I'm saying is, okay, the girl lied about her age. Mm-hmm. The mother lied to him about the daughter's age. Took the daughter to him. Now let's talk trafficking. Because you said he trafficked, if he trafficked them, right? Because traffic is this. You got a person, you trafficking people. You got a person that do the kidnapping or the grabbing or the selling or whatever, and then you got a buyer. Either way it go, from this exchange to this one, it's trafficking. So if we're talking about him trafficking young women, when the mother took her, knowing that her age, and lied to him about her age, and told her how to dress, that was trafficking. Mm-hmm. And nobody want to talk about that. And see, the problem with it, we saying, is he's a victim of that as well, because he was told she was of age. He's thinking that it's an actual consenting stance that I can take her out, I can date her. She's of age. So what else? But now you're saying they were underage. They were underage. You're trying to save face because you already got sued with Cardi B. Mm-hmm. And now that he out here talking, you trying to save face. So he around here talking, you got to go. She gonna go everywhere he goes. Trust and believe every platform. And I was just talking, I was trying to get with Infamous Sylvia and Dottie, but my phone messing up or whatever. And I text Dottie, but she didn't text back. But my thing is, I don't know. But my thing is, I was working on some things and I didn't want to say what. You know, I don't like to say things publicly because the haters, they're all in the bushes and they all try to stop whatever it is you try to do.
Then don't say it. Don't say it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to get with them. And I said, we should all, you know what I'm saying, make her ass chase him. She gonna chase him so damn much. She ain't gonna never have time to do what she's scheduled to do as far as her interviews. If I was him, I'd make her chase me all around this place and then follow back up with people like us because he needs to know who all his true media team is. There is no way in the hell I would have had an interview with R. Kelly, and no disrespect to anybody, and I'm not trying to start the 2023 off with her. But my thing is, and give it to any of her protege or anybody like her. You get what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
somebody with an open mind, or have an optimistic mindset. Nobody said nothing about Aaliyah being pregnant. That didn't even come out in court. As a matter of fact, it stated in there in the transcript that she wasn't.
Yeah,
Right.
Demetrius said she wasn't. Demetrius said she wasn't
And
pregnant. She
not only
wasn't
that,
pregnant.
Adrielle said it too. When she was talking
Mm-hmm.
about how she was at the park in her testimony. So it came out twice. She was not. You know, this woman just can lie like that and lie like that. And then she talks, well, the BOP, it wasn't nothing. They did investigation. Ain't nothing came out of it. That don't mean it's over. That doesn't mean it's over.
Right.
And then the other part, she said she paid her taxes. Stop lying, there, because we found that in Cardi B's case that you lie about that too.
Yeah,
Mm.
and you know what? And that transcript should go to the damn Natasha Simona so she can know she lied. Send that over there to her. She just be lying too damn much. Tasha K is, and then she always talk about she got mad at me. This when her and Angelo was cool. She got mad at me because I had told her, why don't you go after the person who victimized you? You spend all this damn time bringing down R. Kelly, but the man who victimized you is all around here. Then you had Jessica Reed on your channel, right? She had Jessica Reed on her channel. Okay, that's good. So Jessica get to tell her story to a million people. However, Jessica ended up suing a lawsuit with that boy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so my thing is, well, why don't you go back under the Victims' Right Act and why don't you sue the predator? Because you need all the money your ass can get.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, tell me if I'm talking.
You telling the truth?
You're talking.
So you can get the money because you needed to pay Cardi B. Why don't you sue your predator? Be an example.
Facts.
I don't understand how all these supposed to be victims, but see, he a regular guy. See, he a regular guy, so I don't give a damn if he was a regular guy. I don't care if he was a plumber. He'll owe me for life then. I don't care.
But see, that's the thing, spitting fire. It when it comes down to it, it's about the money. It's like you said, if it's a regular dude that ain't got no money, it's almost like what's the use? But somebody with money, then I can go ahead and make some money.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
you're supposed to be so victimized.
Like, right.
You get what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
I'm still gonna try. I don't care if you ain't got nothing. I don't care if you
Exactly.
making $10. I want 8 of them.
Exactly.
Now find a way to live off $2. I don't care.
And I want to say this to Sylvia. Um, I appreciate you doing the Young Thug case because it sort of coincides when we talking about these Ricos now. And I think people are starting to pay a lot more attention because you look at the Rico with R. Kelly. And when it boils down to it, everybody's getting immunity, but they want one person. How can a Rico be one person if you only want one person, but everybody getting immunity? And I want everybody in the chat to understand what I'm getting ready to say. They are coming after our black young men. And if you don't realize it, it's going to trickle down to the regular young men, such as my son, your niece, your nephew, or whoever the case may be. That's why you have to stand strong, 10 toes deep, and understand this big picture that's going on. Because they're using the law to break the law, and you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to understand the law. So if your loved one or a friend or somebody get in a situation, you can help them through this process. Because when a young man is sitting there talking to an attorney, they don't understand the language that's being explained to them. But if you give them a heads up earlier on in life, and if they do get in trouble, then they can understand what's being presented in front of them, where they don't have to take a plea deal or whatever the case may be. Pay close attention because this stuff is getting too close to home. So Sylvia, I appreciate you putting this out there because at the end of the day, those of us men that's outside on the streets and everything like that, we're going to have to educate our young men, even the ones that's doing the right thing, because they can get caught up just because somebody said, he said, she said. And if you don't look at it, hearsay is becoming a big thing in these courts now with no evidence. So I appreciate you for that.
You're welcome, Sir
Well,
Miguel.
I appreciate all of what you do too, Sylvia. You ain't nobody more strong than you. I mean, for you not to be a fighter, you know how to take a hit and keep on moving. You know how to take a hit and keep on moving because you ain't letting them stop you. And that's one thing I can say about you. You keep it moving, and that's what you're supposed to do. You keep it moving
Amen.
and
And
keep
see,
it going. You know
and
what I'm saying?
the harder you fight, Sylvia, the harder the devil gonna come.
Yeah,
Which tell me this, your relationship with God and however it goes, the closer you get to him, the devil gonna keep coming at you because he wants you to say, I give up. I'm not gonna trust God. Keep trusting him as you've been doing. And
Yes.
whoever else that's going through anything, keep trusting God as you've been doing. Because it's the devil's job to attack those who are trying to get close to righteousness, which is God. See, he don't need to mess with the people that's already doing wrong because he already got them. He
yeah.
wants the people that's doing right to say, you know what? Damn God, the hell with God.
Mm,
Lose faith, lose hope. That's what he wants. But as
mm,
long as you fighting and you have the faith of a mustard seed, watch how God works.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. I appreciate you having me on. Uh Some gonna be coming your way soon, Sylvia, and some gonna be coming your way soon. Spitting fire, I got your PO box. Keep
okay.
your eyes open,
Thank you.
but stay prayed up because 2023 is gonna be a big year for everybody that's doing the right thing, and for those of you that's doing the wrong thing, be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Be very careful because when you mess with a guy's anointed, you're gonna have a big problem on your hands. So, ladies, have a great evening. Keep doing what you do. And always remember that you have the victory in our Father, God, whose Son died on the cross for our sins. We're going to always win. The devil has already been defeated. So keep fighting.
Amen. Thank you, Sir Miguel.
You're welcome. God bless y'all. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. You know, Spitfire, I have to go to bed because I have to get up early in the morning and I'll be in court in the morning.
Oh,
So
you gotta go to court tomorrow?
I'm going to the
No,
to
sir.
the Young Thug. Yeah, tomorrow is the well, today is the jury selection. They're doing jury selection. So
Oh, okay. They doing that jury stuff.
then you know I'll be in Chicago for my case next week.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, you need to rest up and stuff. All right. Well, I just wanted to come on here because I was like, and I was on somebody else's channel, and I was
Mhm.
like, what she got going on this channel? And lo and behold, I said, what? This girl just laughed. All
No,
right.
what happened is she had popped up on my Simone had popped up on my thing and I was watching her. I had sent people telling her that she did interview with Natasha, so I thought it was going to be on her page. Then all of a sudden, she said that it was on Natasha's Tasha Live thing. So I went over there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to find out. And then I tried to send it to somebody and they said they couldn't get in because she took it off. So I couldn't get out the program. So I said, let me just put it on my backup channel. And that's what I did.
Good. I'm glad you
Because
did.
they took it off. She took it off of her thing already. So, but since I was already in it,
But see, that's how the woman should know she's full of stuff. Why would you take our interview off? You see what I'm saying? Because she said,
no. Tasha K took it off her thing. Natasha went on Tasha K's channel, not the other way around.
Right. She went on the Tasha K's channel, and Tasha K then took the video down, or
yeah, because somebody tried to go in it that I had told about, and they said it's not there. So I was still inside of it watching it because I had paused it, and so I said, you know what? I'll just put it on here so I can keep it. And so since it's already gone, you know what I mean? That type of thing.
okay, well, also still have it as a backup too. You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes you gotta like download this, at least the part that she played, so you could always have that live. Because even if she did strike it and they remove it, you still wouldn't have it.
Oh, I have it on my I have it on StreamYard because I just did this on StreamYard, so I also have it.
Oh, okay. So you have it, even if they take it down on YouTube, you still have it on StreamYard?
Yeah, and I also send it to Twitter and I also send it to Facebook.
Okay.
All those places.
All right, good. I can't believe she just lied like that. I just can't believe it. All right, well, go ahead on and get you some rest.
All
All
right,
right,
guys.
all right. Talk to you later.
Good night, everybody. I'll see you guys in the morning.